Do you hate annoying ads while browsing the internet or playing your favorite games? Stay tuned. In this video, I'm going to show you a free tool that will put your ad problems to rest. Hi guys, welcome to Joshua's Tech Tips. So today we're going to take a look at Pihole. So Pihole is basically a DNS filtering tool, or the technical name is a DNS sinkhole, which allows you to filter things such as advertisements, malicious websites, and tracking info while browsing the internet. So Pihole is a Linux-based tool, which means it doesn't require much resources to run. You could basically run this on anything from a Raspberry Pi to an old computer that you have or a virtual machine. In this video, I'll be running it in a VM which sits on a Windows 10 computer. So one of the main advantages of using Pihole is that it blocks unwanted advertisements. I mean, come on, who really likes watching advertisements while you're streaming your favorite videos on Joshua's Tech Tips, or perhaps playing your favorite mobile games? So some of you all may already have ad blockers installed on your web browsers. However, one of the disadvantages of doing it this way is that you will need to install the ad blocker on each device that you have. One of the main advantages of Pihole is that it allows for network-wide filtering. This can be done by pointing your router's DNS settings to use Pihole as its DNS server. So at a very high level, this is how it works. In order for computers to communicate with the internet, the requests need to pass through something called a DNS server. Normally, we use our ISP as our default DNS servers. If you want to find out more how the whole DNS process works, be sure to take a look at my DNS tutorial. So Pihole acts as a proxy between your network and your ISP's DNS servers. It contains a large database of well-known ad-serving websites. Once it finds a match against its database, it blocks this website, essentially blocking the advertisements. So enough talk, let's get into the actual configuration. To get started, head over to pihole.net and click on the Install tab. And we're going to use this simple one-script installation to have Pihole installed. So go ahead and copy the command and head over to your Linux machine. In my case, I'm going to SSH to the VM that I have running on my Windows 10 machine. So first I want to type sudo, since I want to run this command with root privileges. Paste the command and hit enter. And just give it a few seconds to start the installation wizard. So first it's going to tell us that this installer will transform our device into a network ad blocker. And yes, we want to do that, so we select OK. Select OK at the screen as well. It's recommended that you have a static IP address assigned to this machine. I have one and I recommend you do the same as well. So we're just going to select yes, that we understand what it's telling us on the screen. We have the option to select our preferred DNS servers. I'm going to leave it as Google. However, you could choose your preference. Next, it's given us the option to select our block list. By default, it comes with Steve block list, which works pretty good. You could also alter this and upload your own after the installation is completed. Select OK. Select OK to enable the web admin interface. And select OK to enable the web server. Select OK to log all queries. And select OK to show everything. Now give it a minute or two to complete the installation. So success, the installation is now complete and it gives us the URL where we could access our admin portal, and it also gives us our password that we could use to access this portal. However, I'm going to show you a trick where you could actually change this password to something a little more meaningful and something easier to remember. And So remember, take note of this URL. This is what you're going to enter into your browser to access the web interface. So we're just going to select OK. So the command to change your password is Pihole-A-P and whatever you want your password to be. In my case, I'm setting it as admin1234. Next, we're going to head over to our web browser and enter the URL to access our Pihole admin interface. And here we have our web interface. So off the bat, it has some basic information because we're currently not logged in as admin. So here we have all the domains that's on our current block list, right? So it's 97,641 domains. We have some other information here, total queries. No queries are blocked right now because it's not fully implemented to our network. So I'm just going to select login and I'm going to enter my administrative password here. So this will basically log me in as an administrator. So it's admin1234. And here we can see there's much more information available for us. If you look at on the left hand pane, there's a lot more different options that we could select here. We basically would have full permissions and be able to view a lot more information in the administrative view. So if we head over to MSN, right, just using the site as an example, we could see there's some ads, a lot of ads on the site. At the top here, we're seeing an ad exclusively at courts, a big banner to the top. Even at the side here, we're seeing exclusively at courts as well. And throughout the side, there's a lot of ads. So the thing about this, this is one of the sites that has a lot of ads, but Microsoft also hosts a lot of their own ads. So even after we implement the Pihole, it may not necessarily block all the ads, but we should see a few ads being blocked on this website. So what we're going to do is that we're going to actually change our computer to use Pihole as the DNS server. So this could also be done at the network level, but we're just going to use it at the computer level today. So we're going to click on network settings, we're going to change adapter settings, and we're going to go to our currently active adapter, right click on that and click properties and select IPv4. Right, click properties as well, and we're going to come down here to use the following DNS server. Right, and we're going to enter the IP address for our Pihole device. So in my case, it's 10.1.0.22, and I'm just going to click OK and close. So I'm just going to disable my adapter and re-enable it back just to ensure that the settings are changed. Right, and I'm going to right click and re-enable it. And as I said, guys, you could do this on your router as well if you want network-wide ad blocking. There's a lot of info out there on the internet showing you how you could change your DNS settings on your routers. Remember, Google is your friend. So if we just double click and we select details, here we could see for the DNS server, it is using our device that has Pihole on it, right? So we should be good to go. So I'm just gonna come over back now to MSN. I'm gonna just refresh it and let's see what happens. And off the bat, once we click the refresh button, we could see that big banner at the top that had exclusive deals from courts. It's gone. And even to the right of my screen as well, the other banner there, that's gone as well. Right, the other advertisement is gone. And there are a few advertisements that are being blocked. I mean, MSN may not necessarily be the best site. As I said, Microsoft hosts a lot of their advertisements, but we are seeing less ads as opposed to when we didn't have the Pihole ad blocker settings enforced. Let's now head over back to our Pihole dashboard and let's take a look at some of the statistics. So I'm just going to refresh this. And as we can see, there's a lot of ads that are currently being blocked. We have a 18% block rate, right? And we have 22 queries that are currently being blocked. And if we scroll down, here we get some info in terms of the actual domains that are being blocked. So the thing about it, there's a lot of things that are running on the background of websites, even though we notice or not, and that's what we're actually seeing on Pihole. Although we went to MSN, these are the ad-serving websites, domains that are being blocked in the background on the MSN website. So let's go to query log, and this would give us some additional info. So this shows us a list specifically of the domains again that are being whitelisted and blacklisted. So the ones that are in red are those that are being currently blacklisted. And here we could manually specify if we want to blacklist a domain or we want to whitelist a domain here as well. So just for clarity's sake, once a domain is whitelisted, you could access it. If it's blacklisted, that means it's blocked. There are also dedicated tabs to blacklist as well as whitelist websites. So for instance, if there's a website that's currently being blocked and you want to allow it access, you could simply add it into the whitelist. Also, if there's something that you want to block, for instance, let's say a pornographic website or something like that. In this case, let's just use yahoo.com as an example. You type in the domain name, and for comment, we could put whatever here. I'm just going to put test. Alright, and here we could choose a wildcard. So basically this would block essentially any subdomain associated with yahoo.com. Right, we just click add to block list, and once we do that, it says success. So now we should essentially not be able to access yahoo.com. Let's test that out. I'm gonna open a new tab and let's type in yahoo.com. And yes, success. Well, when I say success, success as an unsuccess, we can't reach yahoo.com. So that's because yahoo.com is currently in our blacklist and it's enabled. So if we disable this, technically now we should be able to access yahoo.com. Let's try again. And yes, we can access yahoo.com. And also we could see some of the ad blocking features are also enforced on the website, as we see some spaces here. This indicates that these ads are currently being blocked by Pihole. So the blacklisting could come in very useful, very handy, for websites that we don't want our kids to access. So if there's on a corporate network websites that we don't want staff to access, we could definitely utilize the blacklist tab to accomplish this. So another useful feature of Pihole is that it allows you to do local DNS lookup. So for example, if there are machines that you have on your network, like media servers and stuff like that, you could actually add your own local DNS records here. So this way, instead of having to remember the IP addresses, you could simply connect to these machines using the domain names instead. Right, this may be a little more advanced feature for some of the more tech savvy folks, but it's nice to know that we actually have this feature in Pihole as well. So just one last thing I want to show you guys. If you go to the settings tab and go to the DNS tab, so here we have the option to actually specify which DNS servers we want to use. By default, it's set to Google. However, I'm going to change mine to Cloudflare. That's my preference. And you could also change it to whatever you like, Or if you want to leave it on Google, that's fine as well. But I typically like to use Cloudflare as my DNS servers. And you could also enter custom DNS servers as well. I'm just going to click Save to save my settings. Alright, great. So Cloudflare is saved as my DNS servers. If we come back over to the dashboard, so as we see, a lot of additional traffic and statistics has been generated here. Our network has been a little busy since we last checked in, and we see that Pihole is doing its thing. It's blocking sites, it's allowing sites, it's logging queries. So as time progressed, this data would come in pretty handy, especially if you're someone who monitors their network actively. This data would definitely come in handy. And I may be doing a part 2 to this video to probably go into some of the more detailed features of Pihole eventually, because as you can see, there's a lot of features that Pihole has. I just kind of went through some of the basics and some of the more important ones in my opinion. So if you'd like to see a part 2 to this video, be sure to let me know in the comment section below. Well guys, that brings us to the end of this video. Remember, if you found this video useful, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Also, if you like the content I'm creating, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the notification bell to be notified once a new video is released. Thanks again for viewing. See you soon.